Oh, hello world. Yes, it's me again. Your delightful, horned older man. Wait a minute. I'm running late. I was talking to a young Google Plus friend, a young woman over there in India, and I just lost track of time. And oh, good grief, I am late. It's 7 minutes past 1. Ooh, ooh, oh, geez, I think I got to go. You know, you got to go. And Mother Nature calls. You know, that happens when you get to be my age. You know, when the urge to urinate comes on, it's a matter of some urgency these days. You just got to go. Or maybe I can just wait it out, because I'm totally unprepared for the day's live stream. I really am. I just have no idea what I'm going to talk about. But then maybe there's nothing really unusual about that. And oh, look at that. My mug's empty. I don't know, fair income. Oh God. Anyhow, local weather. It's a fairly warm day today. The skies are clear as a bell, and I think the temperature's around about 25 degrees. The humidity's down a bit. The sun has got a little bit of a bite to it, but there's a nice little southeasterly blowing, so it's not too bad. I don't even know what the temperature is in my shed. Just a sec. Yeah, it's 27 degrees C. Right. Yes. Young Vani over there in India. She's a college student, and she has to do a speech, and she's terrified about standing up in front of an audience. But there comes a time when you've just got to throw aside your inhibitions and your fears, and you've got to face them. I suggested to her that she just imagine the audience is naked. Well, she said wearing dunce's caps. Yeah, you could do that too, whatever. But I know a lot of people find it hard to talk in front of a live audience. I don't have any problem. Not at all. As long as I've got a script, I'm cool. Although if you get me onto a subject that I'm really passionate about, I don't need a script. No. Just like yesterday's live stream, going on about the tax evasion by all these multinational conglomerates. But I'm not going to get into that again. No, I'm not going to get into that. I uploaded a video exclusively for Facebook last night. I recorded about 10:30 at night, and I uploaded it. And it was to address 4 Facebook friends. Now, about 12 months ago, out of the goodness of my heart and at considerable cost, I sent 6 of my Facebook friends who reside in the United States a dedicated and signed copy of my first self-published novel. But to date, 4 of them have not had the, well, what can I say, the decency to give me any feedback. Now, you must bear in mind here that 3 of the 4 are self-published authors themselves. And last year, I purchased their ebooks. And I read those books, and I gave them feedback forthwith. And yet, here it is, 12 months later, and they haven't given me any feedback whatsoever. Now, I find that just basic bad manners and ignorance. You know, I said on the video on Facebook, and unfortunately it's only had 11 views, and it probably won't get there. The people whom the video is intended will probably never see it. I didn't name names because they will know who they are if they do see it. But I think that's totally wrong. That just shows a total lack of respect and consideration. And I'm sure they all have banal excuses. Oh, I haven't had the time. Oh, come on now. If someone is kind enough to send you a dedicated and signed copy of their novel, then you read it. You read it straight away. You can't tell me that you can't go to bed at night and read for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, I read in bed every night. So, you know, But there's no doubt they'll have all these banal excuses, and they'll try and put the onus on me. And that's atypical of people, because the truth hurts. And instead of owning up to their shortcomings, they'll try and put the onus on me, or the onus on something else. They will not accept responsibility for their own actions. It's all too common in this day and age. Well, I will have a sip, whatever is left in here. No, I think that's I think it stinks, because if someone were to send to me at their own expense a dedicated and signed copy of their book, whether it be here in Australia or from the other side of the world, I'd read it straight away. I would, out of respect to that person. And I would have expected the same of these people, but no, can't be bothered. And one of them too had promised me some images of an old barn on a property near where she lives, and also a video of her down at the shooting range, because she has a handgun license, but neither of them came. No, promises, empty promises. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I share all my YouTube video uploads to Facebook, mainly for the benefit of my Facebook friends. And of the last couple of months, they haven't been seen. No one's viewed them. There's been no views, and there's certainly been no likes or comments. And I'm just wondering if they're still around. I know they are. I know they are still around, because I scroll the Facebook main page every day, sometimes more than once, and they're still contributing on Facebook, so I know they're still around. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's people for you. Yes, people. There's just too many of them. I had a comment from my friend George over in Virginia, the United States, and he showed the video I made, the satirical video called George and Me. And he really liked it. He got a hoot out of it. And but he showed it to a friend of his who thought there was something wrong with me, that maybe I was ill. He said he couldn't understand that, because he tried to explain to his friend that it was a satirical video, that I was impersonating him, with his coughing and what have you, and his drinking and his smoking. But yeah, some people, eh? Hello, here comes my dearly beloved with lunch. Now that's service for you, isn't it? Hello, my dear. I'm just doing a live stream here. Oh, thank you very much. Whoops.
Chicken and vegetables.
Chicken and vegetables, my dearly beloved says. It looks all right too. Oh dear. Too bad you couldn't have brought the pot of tea down with some milk as well. I suppose I could have called back and said, look, you nick me a mug of tea as well. No, I wouldn't do that. No. Oh dear. I really am lost as what to say. Getting back to young Vani over there in India, she's 20 years old, and I can't remember what she's studying at university, but she seems like a very nice young woman. But she's obviously having a hard time. She said she was once bullied at school, and because of that, she became she lacked confidence. Oh yes, that could do it. Yes, certainly bullying is very real, and can have a profound effect on people's psychology. But she's not being bullied now, and she contacted me with through Google Plus, message on Google Plus, that she had to do a dissertation. Yes. Which to me is either the writing of a thesis or a speech. But she has to. She decided to do the effect of soap operas on people's lives. No, hundreds of millions of people watch soap operas every day, and some of them are addicted to them. And she asked me what she could write about, and I was happy to help her as best I could. Look, I'm not an academic. not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I finished third year in high school way back in 1963, and I got my intermediate certificate as a here in Australia. And I just couldn't wait to leave school. I hated school. Once I learned to read and write, that's school's a waste of time, because I'm basically self-taught. Because I've always had a thirst for knowledge. And see, here I go. I've lost my train of thought again. Why do I digress like that? I mean, I don't know. But she asked me then what sort of questions you could ask a boy or a man about, because men do watch soap operas for sure. I don't. No, I've never had an interest in soap operas. I mean, my life's been one big soap opera. And I think that's true for most folk. But there is no doubt that many folk find soap operas a diversion from the banal reality of day-to-day life. It's escapism. And I think too that for some it can be habit forming, very much so. I think they become addicted to these soap operas to the point that they schedule their lives by a TV guide. What time the soap operas are on. And I think if they watch one, they tend to watch more than they tend to watch others. I think my wife used to watch Days of Our Lives years ago, and maybe The Young and the Restless on there, but she doesn't watch soap operas anymore. Maybe I suppose with some like my wife, it was a way to relax a little bit. But what I found that, from my experience sitting next to my wife having lunch while she was watching Days of Our Drearies, I came to the conclusion that you could miss 100 episodes of those shows and you come back and you wouldn't have missed anything. That's really. There was a woman in, might have been The Young and the Restless, who was always crying. And every time I saw her, she was always crying. So, do you understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't miss anything if you missed 100 episodes of these shows. But some people are truly addicted to these soap operas. I know here in Australia, for instance, shows like Home and Away. I don't know how people can watch it. I suppose for the younger generation, it's they watch it because of the attractive young girls in it, the young women. But I've only seen that in any blurbs on the show, which pop up with monotonous regularity. But it's been going for 25, 30 years, that show. I don't understand it. My wife's late mother would never miss an episode of Home and Away. Yeah, but to each their own. And of course, we have Neighbours, which has been going for 35 years, I think it is. Not my cup of tea either. No, I never watched those sort of shows. But back to Vani, I mean, she's an introvert. There's no doubt about that. So, and that's fine, because there's nothing unusual about being an introvert. But when you're in her position and you have to make a speech, and I know it's hard for you, Vani, if you happen to be watching this this live stream, it's very hard for someone to face a live audience. It is very hard indeed. I mean, they feel physically ill just with the thought of going out and facing a live audience. And they're usually an audience of your peers. But there comes a time when you have to throw away your inhibitions and you've got to face your fears. Now, once upon a time, I used to be terrified of spiders. Now, when I was a kid, terrified of spiders. But gradually over the years, I confronted my fears by getting up close and personal with spiders. And now I don't fear them anymore. I don't like them on me, but I don't fear them anymore. I respect them, especially the venomous ones. We have one of the most deadliest spiders in the world here in Australia, the male funnel whip. Make your blood run cold, those things will. When we lived in the Blue Mountains, the top of the Blue Mountains of Blackheath, we lived there for 10 years. There were funnel webs everywhere. Only the male funnel whip, because they were always out and about when the warmer weather looking for mates. And they are, well, they really, just the sight of them makes your blood run cold. I can remember stepping outside the front door of the house, and there was a spider just in the corner near the brickwork, near one of the windows, the front windows. And I got a stick and just flicked it away, because it was my first encounter with the funnel whip up there. I knew about them, and I had my reason to believe it was a funnel whip. So I flicked it with a stick, and it just jumped back, and it just reared up. And they've got fangs. Oh, I suppose they could be 4 or 5 millimeters in length. And there was venom on the end of the fangs. The fangs are so strong they can penetrate leather boots. And if you get bitten by one, you want to get to a hospital quick, smart, and hope they got an anti-venom handy, because you can be dead within half an hour. Especially someone like me with a poor respiratory system, it probably wouldn't take 10 minutes or more to kill me. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for those sort of spiders. But that's what Australia's like, you know. Oh, I'm digressing along. Yes, Vani, you've just got to face your fears, my young friend. If it has to be done, you've got to do it. Don't back out of it. Don't try. Do it. I suggested to her that you get on and do a live stream, just to get the feel of talking. I know I often say to the whole world, and it is potentially the whole world, but just get on and start talking. And just overcome your fear a little bit, just gradually face your fear. And just become a little bit of an extrovert at times. Look, just go out into a, I don't know, a mall or a park or something, and just stand there and start reading. Read something out loud. You know, you might be looking left and right, and people think I'm crazy, but just start reading out loud, just to get the feel for reading something loud in public. And just look at the words. Just become immune to what's around you. You know, nothing else exists except the book. And it's the same when you go on stage to with your questions or your thesis or whatever you're doing for this dissertation, and just concentrate on the words. And sometimes the way to break I think the greatest fear people have is that they're going to make a fool of themselves speaking in public. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. I've made a fool of myself plenty of times. But to try and start off with some humor, something to break the ice, even if it's some silly knock-knock joke. And they say, "Who's there?" You say, "Me." I know it's silly, but it'll probably get a few laughs, and you might just relax a little bit. Well, you know, I did have plans to do something, to talk about something in today's live stream, but look, I can't think what it was, and I haven't made any notes. I don't think I have. No, I haven't made any notes. And I'm just rambling on. So I might as well have my lunch that my dearly beloved has brought down for me and call it quits. So I will. So this will be a very, very short stream. And Vani, if you do happen to be watching, just go for it, kiddo. You said you got a boyfriend. Start talking to him. Yeah. Ask him some questions, just to get a feel for it, just to get to feel what it's like. And don't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. Don't be afraid of that at all. Just swallow hard, and if need be, suck on a lolly so you prevent your mouth from going super dry, because it will go dry. It'll be so dry you feel as if your tongue's going to stick to your palate. And you might feel sick to the stomach. That's all natural. But once you start, you'll start to feel better. And when you finish, when you do the deed, you are going to feel euphoric. You're going to be so proud of yourself. And you're going to say, what was I worried about? It's true. Trust me, Vani, it's true. Okay, then I will say to George, my friend who I know watches, thank you for watching, George. And if Vani happened to catch this live stream, thank you for watching too, Vani. And remember, I'm always prepared to give you a hand. Whatever I can do for you, whatever knowledge I can pass on from my life experience, all you got to do is ask, and I'm more than happy to lend a helping hand. So until tomorrow, maybe. Bye for now. Beep, 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 beep. That's all, folks.